we really love you.
Alright, we're going to turn this loud one off for now.
And, you know, then as people get mad at us when we do a lot of this stuff, you know, that stuff makes it just stops everything, you know, where it goes, and just makes it all worth it. At the end of the day, you know, you can hate what we do, but there's a bigger picture, so we got to keep pushing on. We're professional ghost hunters. We get crowdfunded. Actually, we do get crowdfunded. We put everything on YouTube, so we have evidence galore, and we're moving the field forward. That's what we want to do. We want to do it like Thomas Edison. You guys familiar with good old Thomas Alvin? Yeah. You know, I asked that question in a room one time, and everyone just proved it. And I go, serious? And then I called someone out, and I don't know. I'm like, what? Mind you, it was a lot younger crowd that was in there. Like, what are they teaching in your schools? Thomas Edison. Light bulb go off, guys? Yeah. We want to move the field forward. There's a lot of aspects of this field that are very fascinating. So Ghost Crier, we keep everything ones and zeros, very grounded. We like to focus on the behaviors of ghosts. Behaviors are a word that I use quite often because that's, I feel, what you've got to watch when you consistently do this, especially on the level that we do. We talk about, what, 2 videos a week? I mean, sometimes we're in it every... I'm up at 5 in the morning every day, guys, and I go to midnight like at go to midnight. I go to bed at midnight. Can you tell? So not too much sleep happens, and I got a puppy and a new baby that's coming down the way. New house. Did a communication session in there. Yeah. So why not, right? So with that in mind, it's a lot of work to do what we do, and I think YouTube, we got another paycheck from them. $1.53. I told the wife, thank you guys, appreciate that. But we made it. We made it. I'm going to put this into like the stocks. Probably lose it in my life.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. But there's a lot of neat things that we've been able to produce and to kind of come to our own perception with. Because I've been in this ground for since '99, so I've been doing this before paranormal reality was a reality. It was nobody. I tried to look for a mentor back in '99, and I saw like a group in Southern Illinois. I believe in ghosts. They're real. I'm sure they are. I clearly didn't reach out to them. I didn't know what to do at that point. I didn't know to reach out to authors. I didn't know to reach out to all these other resources. And there was a handful of groups here and there. Fast forward to the TV burst. Now there's groups. There's a lot of groups. Not a bad thing. Not 100% positive thing either. But I like it because it does bring awareness to kind of the situation that's very real. We just need to get a little more standardized. We need to take a little more seriousness with it and keep it 1s and 0s. I usually start off with a trigger word. I'm an atheist. And then 3 people stand up. They leave. And then 3 more come in. They sit down. I go, now, afterlife is real, guys. It's a legit. We've documented it. There's no doubt we have an eternal life. No doubt. I don't have a talk to discuss on it. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, but prayer works as well. If you want to talk to me later about that, I can try to explain it. But from what we've documented, what we can scientifically kind of bring to the table, we feel that it truly is all connected. I did a huge spiel, and I was at one point going to do a huge spiel on perception. Perception is so funny. Perception. An investigator will say gets into a field and they have a Catholic background. Nothing's wrong with that. But you do gotta, I feel, leave that on the side while you take everything grounded so you can get the evidence and pile it up and really have a good conversation with this. The reality is, you walk in sometimes with that mindset, guess how many demons are in the room? It's demon infested, every place you go to. Do I believe in demons? No, I don't. Do I believe in negative energy? Yes. Do they have the same context? Absolutely. So you got to kind of keep that perception, guys. Remember where I'm coming from, though. I'm an atheist. I said that right away. So am I wrong? Yeah, probably. Probably. But I've had a lot of experience. I've been on the field since, I've been researching 2 years before I hit the field. So I've been on the field since '01. It's a lot of time digging in the dark in the daytime to kind of figure this out. So So I've definitely had my tools worked for the most part. And this is just my interpretation on where I feel it's going and how it is all connected. Now, when everyone speaks, how many people here have actually been on maybe a ghost tour or an investigation, a hunt? Okay, so we're familiar. How many, out of curiosity, how many skeptics do we have? Do we have any skeptics? Cool. No, I love skeptics. We take a very skeptical approach to each of and every one of our investigations because it's that important to us. We've already had our aha moment, our discovery moment. It's about getting that good evidence now. It's about being, about repeating, right? Because science, the big thing with science is you have to be able to repeat it. Mind you, some of the stuff that we've done, we've been able to do this. But the issue now, we've created ourselves in this culture, kind of a bad behavior, where if you want to do this, I guess scientifically or on the mainstream, you have to become a personality. That's the unfortunate reality.
So we did.
So we did. We decided, hey, YouTube's a good avenue. I got a little bit of theatrics behind me. Let's see what we can do. So I wrote a book called Boo Hoo. It's going to be in stores soon. You should enjoy it. It's a real thing. It's about a little child ghost who finds identity. Trust me, it's adorable. But we'll get that out soon. Hopefully the next convention we might have that. But the idea is allow a different avenue to kind of see what we're doing, and hopefully we're on Patreon.com, so that's how we get crowdfunded. And hopefully, you know, like a big institution, NASA, we'll go big. They do all their experiments, you know, crowdfunding. I don't want a telescope from NASA. That'll just nuke everybody. Bad decision. But I feel like they do have, you know, people that do get these funds have the means to continue the science. Welcome. Now we can get started. Connected. How it's all connected. That's the interesting thing, right? Because a lot of people do have, again, I pull back to perceptions, different perceptions. Mind you, we have different illustrations on how we perceive the situation that's ongoing at the time. Very fascinating. Because this chair can go, someone might be like, there's a demon, or poltergeist, or this is the worst thing ever. My house is upside down, haunted. It threw at me, I tripped down my stairs. That happens more often than you think. It's scary when you see apparition, trust me. So people injure themselves more than the actual entity actually does the injuries. With that chair moving, yeah, that's frightening, right? Nothing, well, spoiler alert, I noted it. But if I wasn't there, it would be kind of frightening. Does that mean it's a negative energy? Does it mean anything like that? It's startling and kind of have an emotional reaction with you. But have you, did anyone have a two-year-old or beyond, you heard terrible twos? It's a thing because they know what they want, but they can't communicate it. Does this make sense? So when you come with an apparition, a spirit who's with you all the time, and they're like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, miss, 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 all of a sudden, hit, boom, there goes the chair. It's like, oh, all right. Sorry, guys, not an evil spirit, just wants to be acknowledged. There's ways that we can acknowledge that. And we'll jump into consciousness here in a moment too, which is really kind of cool. I'm obsessed with asking my name because it's multiple syllables. So, and it's cool to hear your name over a spirit box, right? Yeah, that's kind of cool. We do use other devices. The SV7 does have that static, and you're right, it's very noisy. And at this point, we've honed our skills enough to understand that dip and that behavior. I spoke about behavior is what we watch for. And we kind of recognize that there's something there. But in most cases, we have to analyze it again and slow it down. And headphones, there's a lot to it. But we're working with devices that make things a little easier to understand on the spot. And we're actually heading the field in this type of research. So when we ask something, we now are starting to have some conversations, some give and take conversation. And you're going to hear it here in just a moment, perhaps. Aaron looks amazing. It's true.
Is that on? That's on yours, isn't it?
No, that's just a picture.
Oh.
Yeah. So you gotta watch a full video for that Halloween video. You'll love it. Sorry. Okay, so we're connected, right? It's a real thing. Rapport. We've always built rapport in our community. I build rapport, you know, at my job and so forth when I'm training groups on speaking with customers or stuff like that. Rapport is so important. We do it within our family, within our work group, as we stated, and it builds us. It's who we are, who we're comfortable with. So with that rapport and that community, we'll take a community of witches. Do we have any people who practice Wicca? Any Wiccans, kind of, sort of? Cool. We have a witch! Shut the door! Yes! Oldest trick in the book.
She turned me into a newt.
Oh, man. You know, the funny thing is you don't want to mess with a witch. I'll let you know why. Because she did build that community, that energy, that invisible energy. So as there might be a lot of lore and a lot of books, a lot of communication about magic, with a K, at the ground level, it's ones and zeros. The energy is always out there. That rapport was built. So she now has a whole covenant, years and years and years and years behind her. So when she does do one of these sayings, these spells, these commands, they most likely will work, guys, because she has a force behind that's assisting, built that rapport, built that time, built that energy. So what I'm ultimately saying is don't mess with someone who messes with Wicca, because it'd be a curse of some sort for sure. So, curse of the witch on Fox. And that's proof right there. And again, we get a lot of I love yous because we're allowing them a voice. We're trying to hear their story. We're trying to put clues together. I feel confident that we probably knocked the case of the Melissa Gaxberg house. Check out that video, guys. Seriously, we pretty much got them spilling the beans on everything. Who the murderers, how it's been done. No one's been documented that style ever. I even got people coming to me going, huh? I guess. It maybe makes sense. I don't know. I just do the data, guys. I just take what they say and I put it together. The nice thing with, and we'll go back to folks who are Catholic. You know, I'm married to a beautiful woman. I'm about to have my daughter, my first daughter, in January. So I'm excited about that, new dad. And thank you, guys. And she has a relationship with Jesus Christ. Absolutely. I will never, ever, 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 ever take that from her. That's not for me to do. I'm only there to support that system. I'm there to support her ways and in a sense, the consciousness. Because the biggest issue that as a paranormal investigator, as I feel find in churches and so forth, is those lost souls. Does that make sense? Because people go out half. And I don't know how to stress that enough, because that's when you get these conversations, does God exist? And you know, it's not for me to say. Absolutely, he could. If he does exist for you, yes, no doubt, he does. I will never sit back and say that he does not. But that's the interesting thing, because as folks who are into those type of communities, there's prayer. I guess I am going a little bit of prayer, as I spoke about earlier. Prayer works, absolutely works. It's an energy that gets expelled in a positive fashion. The other communities sometimes call them meditation, or meditation, or well wishes, good luck. It's all the same concept. You're giving out that good vibes in a sense. And it depends on your perception of how the consciousness reacts to your world and your community is how it's going to affect you, how you're going to take it in, and how you're going to move forward. The fun thing with the reality, again, we do live an eternal life. That's just factual. A lot of this is a very alternate way of thinking about afterlife. But I challenge you guys to kind of give it a thought. One of the most wonderful things about prayer, about those well wishes, is that the more you stay positive, you find out that there are steps that start moving up. Things start getting a little bit better. And a lot of people are like coincidence or so forth. But no, it's a little bit more than coincidence. If you see someone who is playing victim the entire time, I'm not sure if we've had friends like that, unfortunately, or know people like that, or spoke with people like that. It's sad, and they need to get out of that funk. If you guys are, someone's in here like that, you need to really step out of that funk, because once you start becoming more of that positive light and allowing people to kind of let you in, things are going to raise. It might be a slow process. It might not raise you to a millionaire status, but that's, trust me, too much responsibility there. I don't want that, all right? Want to pay the bills and move along. Do the science here. So there is that connection. It's just, again, how that rapport is built, how the perception, again, I'll pull back to, that perception is so important to your surroundings. And I'll give you an example of rapport and how I use it, how Nick uses it, and Jared, uses it when we go on site to these locations, because we have entities of different consciousness levels and so forth, adults, children, and so forth. But it's sitting down and having a conversation with them. It's introducing ourselves. It's sociology. It's just speaking to someone, letting them have an outlet to express themselves. And once that door's open, once they feel comfortable, things can start happening in more of a progressive manner. Something happens, don't get scared. We don't really jump. We get surprised. I think that was a good word that Nick said earlier today. Someone asked, "You guys get scared?" I was like,
Caught off guard.
Caught off guard. Caught off guard. That's true. That's true. And we'll actually play a couple caught off guards here in a second. But again, we sit down, we just build that rapport. Now we've had years of building that rapport. People also have attachments. Absolutely have attachments. But they're like my invisible arm. They got my back. I never feel like I'm in danger. And it may very well be the way I present myself and kind of walk into a location, because two things lead to hate, guys. It's conviction and, I'm sorry. No, that's how you, well, it's not, I'll explain that later. Two things lead to hate. Fear of the unknown. Makes sense? Fear of the unknown, because you're not educating yourself enough for this, or you're not accepting that there's other possibilities. So fear of the unknown and justification. Justification that you're absolute. I get it, but at the same time, that's no way to grow love. At the end of the day, we need to accept, we need to just understand that there's energy everywhere. We just got to understand that it could be used, positively. Again, I guess I'll go with conviction, and the conviction and confidence aspect is when you're in a house and you're kind of conducting a situation like this, you need to have confidence in what you do, action, and then conviction in what you say. It's so important. So it's hard, especially for a beginner investigator, because it can be nerve-wracking, to do some of this stuff. But at the same time, it's a science. We got to break it down. If you're doing it right, you're not going to please everyone. That's just the reality of it. So we've had plenty of emails to say one way or the other. Trust me. We had some that said we need to be more like Ghost Adventures Crew. What? You'd be crazy. Ghost Adventures Crew, by the way, is a very popular TV show that they over-dramatize every interaction. So,
Yes, they do.
mind you, as you see me up here, I move around a lot. That's Italian to me. I don't think I'm Italian, German. But it's completely nerd when you watch us. But we'll let's play for you. Let's kind of do some description. Some description of what we
We were
do.
zoomed during the Great Depression and moved to Walcott, and half of them were moved to Fairmount here in Davenport. So there's nobody buried there, but we were talking to people still about that cemetery. They even said the name of it and what it used to be. It was exciting.
And why it moved.
And why it moved.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trade goods. Farmland now, so makes sense, I guess.
Is this
right?
heading toward Walcott then?
Yep, heading towards Walcott.
That's Nice Cemetery. Nice Cemetery?
Yeah, you turn at that one that's right out there next to the road.
There's Snoke
Soink.
or Swink Cemetery. Swink Cemetery is what it was called, or what it's called, but
I'll show you on a map where it was.
yeah, it was. And you located in a library out of all places. Wikipedia didn't have that one, but yeah, it's kind of it's a one shot. Like, hey, you want to go out and check out this place? And we did, and there seems to be still intelligent responses, there, which again is fascinating. There's a lot of fascinating behaviors with this that throw. And it's positive because, again, there is that life beyond or life after. We're just trying to now recognize that so we can kind of all be rose together here and live peacefully after life and with this life.
We got 5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes? We did it! Really? You got 5 minutes?
Unless we go to 3:15, what's the door say?
Your brain must be on
We
fire.
gotta give some time to the next person out there.
Raise your spirit to the ghost crier.
Guys, we'll take this time for questions, honestly.
Slam the door. You're shaking, scared. Live your life with so much fear. Wipe your eyes, hide your tears. Stop. Let me make this clear. This about